Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and I'm joined by my producer. Wow, we hadn't practiced this.
I know. It's a crazy morning here right now.
Isn't it?
I'm Branson Quirk, by the way.
Branson Quirk, my producer, the producer of all TMZ Audio Network content. It is a strange morning. Hulk Hogan has just died. We've just learnt the news.
So sad.
TMZ just broke the news. Branson, you are a wrestling fan, so
To say the least.
to say the least.
To say the least.
I had to get you
It's
on
a big one.
to talk about Hulk because we heard this morning that he died potentially because of some sort of heart failure.
Right.
The paramedics rushed there and he was seen being stretchered out of his home.
Right.
He was 71. Can you tell me any
71.
more?
Well, what we know right now, details are continuing to come in. We know medics responded to his Clearwater, Florida home early Thursday, and like you said, potentially it was a cardiac arrest call. We do have the 911 call. We have a photo from outside the house. The scene outside the house was absolutely crazy. EMS, fire, police, people filming outside. And I'm sure everybody in the neighborhood, everybody knows their neighbor's Hulk Hogan. So when this happened, it probably was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, he is just part of American folklore. Obviously, he's like the GOAT WWE, no question.
Yeah, absolutely. And myself growing up, I'm younger, so my era is not Hulk Hogan. To say the least, he started in the late 80s and then into the 90s. And I am very confident in saying that this is probably the biggest WWE death. And I think he is the biggest wrestler ever.
Yeah.
He is the biggest wrestler ever.
No,
This is a massive
And he
death.
also, he lived different sort of lives. In wrestling, he was a good guy than a bad guy.
Right.
He had his reality show, obviously.
Right.
With his whole family that got his family famous.
I loved that.
You love that? You love that show?
Loved that show. I just, the family, they have their issues. We've done several stories on the relationship, the estranged relationship between his daughter and Hulk and everything. And the show is kind of similar to the Osbournes, actually, a little bit. If you watched both shows, they were a little bit similar. So the fact that these two deaths happened this week, this is...
I know, 3,
insane.
bro. Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah, 3, exactly.
That is
a big week for
3
death.
big deaths, just shocking. So Hulk also went on to be like a movie star.
Yeah.
And also like a political star. He was the man at the Republican convention that everyone
Ripped the shirt off in front of
ripped the shirt
everybody.
off the next day.
Yeah.
So he's just been ingrained in American culture in so many different ways for so long. He's got that beer company. What's it called?
Right. Real American beer. Right. And he had just been promoting that. We had just talked to him on TMZ Sports not long ago. We have a TMZ Sports interview podcast with Michael Babcock, and he had just interviewed Hulk, and he was doing great in the interview. You never would have thought this guy was, this was going to happen to him. But I was just telling our associate producer here earlier that this is, and I hate to say, this is kind of a common theme that we see with wrestlers, especially from the past, from the 90s, the Attitude Era. There was it was a big deal because they were using certain steroids, things like that. Did you watch the Vince McMahon Netflix special and everything? It was massive.
Yeah.
And there was a very big court case that happened that they covered in this from back in the day where it was all about steroids and Vince McMahon, whether or not he was allowing this in the company and everything. And Hulk Hogan was the star testifier witness in that case that basically saved Vince McMahon from being prosecuted, essentially. And it's really, really interesting in that you see that relationship between Hulk Hogan and Vince. Let me tell you right now, Hulk Hogan saved the WWE many, many times. So like I said, this is the biggest wrestler death, I think, ever.
Yeah,
ever.
For sure. And,
ever.
It'll,
next will be John Cena, if anything. That's
John Cena,
and
The Rock is on the Mount Rushmore.
The Rock is
too.
Mount Rushmore.
But Hulk was the one who really popularized the sport. And
Did you watch Did you watch back then?
I wasn't much.
I don't know
of a
how old you were.
Guy. I was probably a bit older than you. I was never much of a wrestling guy, but even from Australia, I knew the impact of Hulk Hogan. He was the All-American. And so, yeah,
I mean, obviously the biggest match, Andre the Giant, when he lifted him off his shoulders and everything. And then the real game-changing moment was when he went Hollywood Hogan. I don't know if you remember that era at all, but that's when you see a wrestler go off and do movies. And that was kind of a common theme when wrestlers would leave the wrestling business and do movies. And that's exactly what he did. They would come back after doing these massive movies. And then the fans would just turn on them saying,
really?
you sold out, you sold out. And Hulk Hogan was kind of that first guy to come back, and he just leaned into that.
Oh, he didn't. I am the villain.
NWO, he was in that, and it was like just bigger and bigger, and that's when WWE, I think, was at its most peak mainstream. Hulk Hogan was involved in everything, and growing up, I did see him in person several times at live events and everything. And then I know there was a period of time where there was a little controversy with him, things he said and everything, and he had to take a step away from WWE. WWE kind of removed him from their programming for a while, and then he did make a return, obviously, in the Hall of Fame and everything. And this is just a massive loss for the wrestling community.
Yes, it is. Okay, moving on to our next story. Let's talk about, who do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Pedro Pascal.
Okay, let's talk about Pedro Pascal, because he is flying around the world with the cast of the Fantastic Four movie he's in.
Right.
And fans are really confused because him and co-star Vanessa Kirby are just like canoodling.
Yes.
I don't know how else to put it. They're touching each other inappropriately, I might think, for colleagues, but they're obviously close friends. But how close? Because it's going viral. Like this is the Hawk tour of the morning, is these guys touching each other and it being kind of awkward and a bit of like, you can see the anxiety in Pedro Pascal.
I mean, that's the debate right now on social media. If you go in the comments section of all these TikTok videos, my entire For You page right now is Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby just touching each other. And she's married, okay? We know that. But he's not. He's a single guy. So there's a debate in the comments about the reason for this, whether or not it's the anxiety or whether or not it's the relationship between the two co-stars, because some people that are in movies together, TV shows that work together for a period of time, and they get close on set and everything. And I don't know what it is, but actors are just especially touchy with each other.
Yeah.
I have worked on so many different movie, TV sets, and I've seen actors just get cuddly with each other. They're touchy, and they have to have fun. Theater kids are touchy. So if you grew up in theater, like, that's kind of the vibe.
Right.
That's the vibe I'm getting when I see these videos.
Yeah,
but to do this in public is very left field and weird
so
to me.
Often and always on camera at like press conferences, behind the scenes. Like, Like, it reminds me of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
Right, it does. It is
but
just
more,
like that. But it's way more than that. Way more than that. The ones I saw was the one where she comes up to him and she brings him up, his stomach up to her stomach, with her face like up to his face, like they're about to kiss.
It's strange.
And then there's another one where she walks up to him on the red carpet and he immediately puts his hands on her waist, which is a very intimate area to put your hands on. And people were then debating actually about her reaction to that, her body reaction to it, in a sense where she kind of pushes his hands a little bit away. But I don't know. I have to ask you this. If you were her husband, how would you feel about this?
I wouldn't be okay with it. But maybe she's going home and saying, look, love, we got to promote a movie. You know, it worked for Sydney Sweeney and that other guy, you know?
But this doesn't need that. This is Fantastic Four.
I know.
No, the fans don't care if I mean, they are the love interest with each other in the movie, if you must know.
Oh, okay.
So that's what people are saying. Oh, they're kind of leaning into that. But like you said earlier, he's publicly shared that he has anxiety and that touching and physical touch helps calm his anxiety.
Okay.
He once said in a 2023 Deadline interview, quote, "My anxiety is right here," while pressing his hand to his chest. He frequently poses with his hand over his chest on red carpets. And it's a coping mechanism that he uses to adapt to deal with public anxiety.
Interesting.
I get that. I have anxiety myself, but people deal with these things differently. But it's just, I don't know. The one where she has her hand around his neck in an interview too, and she's just
strange.
She's just fanoodling it. I don't know.
Fanoodling and fanoodling and everything.
Again, if I was her husband, I would go, hey, you do you, and I'm going to go find somebody else.
But if they are just trying to promote their project, maybe it's a good idea.
I truly don't believe that it's to promote at all. I don't think that it's planned to promote. I really think it's just them. This is just the way they are, and they're just doing it in front of the public right now. I don't think that it's a marketing ploy, kind of like the Anyone But You, Sydney Sweeney was.
Sydney Sweeney, Glenn Powell.
They admitted to it.
Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande. Co-stars do this sort of thing.
But then again, we are very much talking about it now. It's all over TikTok.
Yeah.
We've seen all these movies in the past few weeks, Superman including, that they're really leaning into the social media aspect of promo and marketing.
Just shut up and kiss me, Branson.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're trying to get ratings here, everyone.
Turn the cameras off.
Shut up and kiss me, Branson.
I know you have anxiety, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Moving on to the next topic. Bryan Kohberger.
Bryan Kohberger. Wow.
We're hearing from his fellow inmate, which is interesting to know what he's like.
Really quick, I have to ask, did you see the statements yesterday?
From the parents, like giving him
Family
directly to, yeah.
That was really hard to watch.
It was.
That was horrible. And the fact that he sat there and just gave a straight face the whole time.
Yeah.
To everything that was said.
It was really moving and just tragic.
Right.
Just to having kids myself, just hearing the parents talk about their kids, worst thing that could ever happen to anyone. It's just like, so Bryan Kohberger, his fellow inmate, is talking out.
Right.
He's describing Bryan as highly intelligent and polite for the most part, but also annoying due to certain habits.
Yeah.
So this guy was next to you. Read it out. You do it. You're like Ryan Seacrest. Honestly, Branson is like our Ryan Seacrest in
training. I need to lose some weight.
Okay.
So the inmate who was housed next to Coberger for about a month in Latah County Jail. So this is before he was in his current holding that he was in during the hearings in the trial and everything. He shared these details with a Moscow, Idaho police officer in September of 2024. And the details are really interesting. He said that Coberger would wash his hands dozens of times daily. He'd spend 45 minutes to an hour in the shower. And then
you can spend that long in the shower in prison?
So my question is, do they have a shower in your own cell? Is that a thing?
No, they have like blocks.
They have blocks, and they do them together. Yeah, there's no separation.
I think you have you got a timing. You can do it. You can do it from night. Yeah. You can do it. Bryan Kohberger, you can shower for 45 minutes. That's
if I was in jail, I'd probably shower for that long too, because what else do I have to do except just be cozy in the hot water?
But I hear about showers.
But there's more. There's more. He also said that he maintained a nocturnal schedule, up almost all night, napped during the day, and would cause disturbances to his neighbor, who said that he could hear him moving all night. And then this is the most interesting part of this.
Tell me.
Kohberger relied heavily on his mother for emotional support, claims the inmate, saying that he would often video chat with her for hours a day. And then during one call, when that fellow neighboring inmate was watching a sports game or whatever, and that inmate said, "You suck," basically to the player on the screen that he saw there, Coberger went up to the cell bars and immediately, in a rage, thought that he was talking about his mother or him.
Oh.
Was clearly upset.
Strange.
Like in a total rage. He said that was the only time he acted that way.
Despite the complaints, the inmate said Coberger was the smartest person he'd met while incarcerated.
I'm not surprised. These serial killer types are always odd people.
Yeah, who are very, very smart.
Ted Bundy, the Night Stalker. They're very odd people, and they do weird habits. They have weird habits. They're very. There's one thing about them that they have usually. It's OCD. OCD is
they're washing their hands a lot of times.
Neat freaks.
Got
to keep things clean, but there's not much to do in your cell except make your bed, and that's it, right?
Not much else. I mean, but I just can't believe they can have hour-long showers in prison.
Well, he's about to be in protective custody for now 23 hours a day, 1 hour outside a day, in a small cell. I was doing some research about this yesterday. Like, what is it like living in protective custody? And it sounds awful. No window. Yeah. You do get a TV, by the way.
You get a TV?
You get a TV in protective custody, yes. And
Bryan Kohberger has a TV?
Hey, some people are talking about this. Sometimes you get an iPad, but it just depends on where you're going.
Surely they'd block
I don't
some.
think he's going to.
Wow, that's crazy.
But if he went to Gen Pop, I don't think it's going to be a good time for him.
No. Oh, absolutely.
Inmates don't like men that hurt people that hurt children or women.
That's why he'll be solitary type stuff. Well, Branson, this has been fun. Thank you for sharing your knowledge on Hulk Hogan.
Of course.
Sorry for your loss.
Very sad. Very sad. Big in the wrestling world.
Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back live, or hopefully live, tomorrow. So thanks very much. Cheers, Branson.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.